Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 7 of Violet Evergarden, and honestly, holy crap, this is the episode that I've been excited for, yet dreading the moment when it finally happens, because this episode, that ending, like, I love the entire episode. It definitely was a feels train throughout it, and, like, I loved, like, the whole part with the guy and his, his writing and his daughter. It was very sad, yet we did get a little bit of a happy ending right before the dang gut wrenching ending that we ended up having. Like, if it just ended right there before she gets on the boat, it would have been like a nice kind of bittersweet ending, obviously, because his daughter is still, she's still passed away and everything, but at least it would have been happy. Like, he was able to successfully, finish writing that book. And there was a lot of great moments in this episode. As always, the music is awesome. That's one of the things I gotta say. The soundtrack really just, like, it really puts you into the experience of what is going on. Obviously, the visuals are as amazing as usual, but just the soundtrack of every single moment, whether it's something really sad or something just like amazing, like that part where she like jumped like how far across the lake, and then she says that she made it like 3 steps. I'm over here like, wait a minute. Did she really take 3 steps and stand on the leaf? When she stood on it, it was a beautiful looking picture, like, kind of thing, when you could look at it right there. But I expected immediately just go like, because obviously physics, right? Somehow she said, forget physics, and took 3 steps that we didn't see, obviously, but still she said it. And she does not normally the person to lie, obviously. And then of course she does end up splashing into the water. But it was a very touching and beautiful moment, especially for the father and everything. And I just love this episode specifically because we are seeing such a different, like, Violet in comparison to, like, slowly over the time we've seen her grow more and more and more as she helps more people. And that's the huge thing. We start to see her develop more and more with her, finally understanding certain emotions from how we've seen at the very beginning. Now, I've heard that this is actually the episode that we are no longer getting, it's no longer just anime original stuff, and this is actually from the source material. And I actually think that it benefited from the anime original stuff. Everyone, there's like a bunch of people, not everyone, obviously, but there are a bunch of people. I've already had that rant in, like, my last review and everything about how I think the episodes have been, the anime originals have been doing actually a good job. I get the whole thing about you wanting it exactly, how it was, that's how you want it adapted. Because trust me, I know when I've read or, seen a source material and then after see the anime, and then it's like, what the hell is this kind of thing? Or if it's a game and then it comes in the anime and they change things up, that really does piss me off too. But I just can't help but think, like, the people that love this series and everything, you have to see that they actually did a really good job. If this is where I'm not too sure if they skip stuff and then they put the source material after and everything, but I actually think they did a good job at bringing us all the stuff, seeing her grow more and more, learning different emotions from all these different people. And in this episode, you definitely see it, that she has a better understanding of different emotions. And this is finally this episode right here. You can see that she's feeling different things that normally she wouldn't. And it was actually really a very emotional episode, not just for the father, but for her as well. She was starting to understand these different emotions. And I absolutely loved that, seeing that in this episode. She was able to understand what was going on. And that's pretty much what we've seen from the very beginning to, all the way to now. She's slowly developing more and more. She's helping people along the way. But because of these people and their experiences and everything, she's learning and developing as a character. And that's what I absolutely love about this series, besides, of course, the amazing visuals and, of course, the amazing dang soundtrack. But, of course, this is the episode. Like I said before, I love the rest of this episode, but the ending, oh my gosh, I really wished, in a way, like, I loved it, okay? Because this is the thing that I've been excited for, to see this kind of stuff, see when this is going to finally happen. but I've been dreading it at the same time. It's like a love-hate relationship. Like, this is the juicy stuff that we all want to see, but it's the stuff that you know for a fact you're feels train, all aboard the feels train, choo choo. And that is exactly what we got with the, you know, the ending of this episode, when she actually ends up finding out that yes, Gilbert the Major, he is indeed, well, I'm not gonna say indeed for sure dead, because they couldn't find his body. I'm not gonna go on thinking that throughout the series. If it happens, that's pretty damn crazy. But it's good. I mean, we pretty much can assume that he is no longer with us. He passed away, obviously, because of the fact that all they were able to find was his dog tags, and they have not seen him ever since and everything. There's still that small chance that they do some crazy miracle thing at the very end of this series, and we see that he is alive, which I would absolutely be fine with. I would love it, and it would be, you know, it would be by the time that Violet has a really good understanding of what the words "I love you" means, and of course she's she's moved on and she's living her life, and that would be perfect for her to finally see him and him to see her. Obviously, that would be like the kind of perfect world scenario ending, like a very just super happy ending. Not sure if that's going to happen. If it does, that's awesome. But from what we saw, obviously, everyone is pretty much assuming that he is dead. And obviously, Hodgins, I think what his name is. I always keep forgetting because he doesn't show him as much. He's gonna have a lot of explaining to do, because obviously that moment, when the moment on the boat, to the moment where she finds out, to the moment where she runs in, it was just gut wrenching seeing the emotions. We saw her tear up before. We saw it in this episode as well, when she was understanding the whole thing about losing someone, and because of that moment, it just amplified it 10 times more when she finds out that she has also lost someone, and now she knows that feelings. Maybe if she didn't know those feelings before, it wouldn't have been as bad, but in the end, she learned those emotions, she learned those feelings, and it's just, honestly, I was tearing up when we saw her. Like, she didn't want anything, she just ends up running off, and Hodgins is trying to do something to stop her and, you know, tell her that she needs to move on, but obviously that is not going to happen, definitely not right away. But oh man, that ending, honestly, I was just like, I was tearing up. I couldn't help it. I was just like, oh man, we finally hit that moment. We finally crossed that bridge. We're still crossing the bridge, obviously. We're still on the dang Fields train. And I'm excited, and like, it's like I said before, it's like a love-hate kind of thing. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next, but I'm dreading it, because you know for a fact it's gonna be heart-wrenching. You know, hopefully we get some semblance of some happiness in the next episode, but I honestly doubt it. I don't think we're gonna get everything resolved, or even a little bit of it resolved, just straight up in one episode. So just be prepared, guys. It's gonna be a long ride on the Fields train. I always talk about how I love the Fields train. It's awesome, you know. I mean, it's super sad. It's not awesome, but I always love those kind of moments, because it really makes you feel like, just, I guess, like shit in a way, but it's making you feel something, and that's what they've done a great job so far with the character development, with the story so far, and as always, like I keep saying in every single one, the visuals and the soundtrack is awesome as well. Like, literally, the soundtrack during the time when she's talking to Hodgins was just like, oh man, yeah, my heart, it can't take anymore. But guess what? It's gonna have to in next week, you know. But yeah, it's all I really gotta say, guys. Overall, once again, another awesome episode, amazing episode of Violet Evergarden, and can't wait to see how things go. You know, in the next one, it's probably gonna be really sad, but I want it now. You know, it's like, I can't believe I have to wait a week with these feelings bottled up, like just waiting for the moment for them to burst out when we find out what happens in the next episode. But unfortunately, as usual, we have to wait till next week, guys. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything missing and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. As always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. How did you feel about this episode? Do you agree with me? Disagree? Did you tear up? Be honest, guys. I'm being honest with you guys about it. I want to hear if you're like, honestly, I can't see you not tearing up from it, because it's gonna be really emotional coming in these next episodes. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So till next time, see ya.